Good morning, everyone. Today I'd like to show you how to do our mystery loom-along for this week. The materials that you're going to need will be worsted weight yarn, your loom. You just need a loom that has at least 14 pegs on it. So it doesn't really matter what size it is as long as it has 14 pegs. You'll need a yarn needle. You'll need a pair of scissors and your loom tool. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot. Okay, and so I make my slip knot this way by holding the two pieces of yarn and twisting it and then bringing the piece through. You can make your slip knot any way you like that's comfortable for you. Okay, and we're going to put it on this anchor peg right here, and then we're going to tighten it. Okay, so now once you've done that, you are ready to get started. If you are right-handed, my recommendation is to go counterclockwise in this direction. If you are left-handed, my recommendation is to go clockwise in this when you cast on. Okay, I am left-handed, so I'm going to go in a clockwise fashion. So the first thing we're going to do is double E-wrap. So we're going to do a double E-wrap by going in between the first two pegs, and you know that based on where your anchor peg is. You're going to go around and around. Okay, then you're going to use your tool to take the bottom loop over the top. Okay, that's a double E-wrap. You'll do that again until you get 14 pegs cast on. And you're going from the inside to the outside when you do this E-wrap. Okay. You don't want to cast on too tight, but you don't want it too loose either. So you have to get a feel for the yarn, but try not to make it too tight. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be 10. Bottom over top. 12. 13. And this will be our last one, 14. Okay, just to make sure, I'm going to count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so your cast on is done. The next thing we're going to do for row 1 is we're going to purl. So a different stitch from what we just did. And the way you purl is you bring your yarn to the front of your work, and you kind of lay it across the bottom part. So you want to keep your stitches towards the top because you want to lay it across the bottom of your work, if you can see that. Okay, so now to purl, I'm going to go into the groove going in a downward fashion behind this loop that's on there, and I'm going to slightly lift my hook and bring it through that loop. Okay, then I'm going to take and pull it off and put the new one on. Okay, so let's see that again. Your working yarn is at the bottom. You take your tool and you put it along the groove you scoop up the working yarn, pull the old loop off, put the new one on, and tighten it. Let's do that again. Scoop it up, take it off, put the new one on, and tighten it. You're going to keep doing that all the way. This is a purl stitch. Okay, you're going to keep doing that all the way across. Sorry about the background, guys. We are trying to keep our grass from getting unruly, so there's a lawnmower noise. Hopefully this is not interfering with the video too much. Okay. Two more to go. Scoop it up, take the old one off, put the new one on. Last one, go behind it with the groove, scoop up this new one, take the old one off, and then put the new one on and tighten it. Okay, so now I've done another row, so it's okay to take this anchor peg off. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that off so that it's not in my way, and I'm going to kind of push it towards the inside. Okay, it'll be kind of hanging at the bottom, but at least it won't be in my way. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so row number 2 is a knit, but the knit that we're going to do is not the E-wrap knit, it's actually a U-wrap knit. So this is how you're going to do a U-wrap knit. You're going to bring your yarn from behind around to the front. This time it's going to be on the top. Okay, so you're going to bring it around, and you're going to bring it around to the front. You're not going to wrap it all the way to bring it to the front of your work, but you're going to keep it kind of in the back and hold on to it, and then you're going to just go ahead and knit it. Okay, so once again, you bring your yarn to the front, wrap it halfway in a U shape, and then bring your bottom over the top. Okay, let's do that again. Bring it around halfway and knit it. You're going to do a U-wrap knit all the way to the end. So for this whole entire row. And I'm just bringing the bottom loop over the top. Okay. Alright, so row two is done. Row 3 is another purl stitch all the way across. So again, we're going to bring our yarn around to the front of our work. We're going to bring it to the bottom, so our stitches need to be kind of close to the upper portion so that we can get this yarn along the bottom. Alright, and it doesn't have to hold like this. I'm just kind of doing this to exaggerate, to show you how I want you to, have your position your yarn. So if you do it at each one, as long as you're going and grabbing the yarn from the bottom, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to go underneath this top one. I'm going to pull this down so you can see. Okay, so I'm going to go along the groove here and under that stitch. I'm going to move my tool and pick up the loop through that, and then I'm going to hold onto the loop, pull the old one off, put the new one on, and kind of tighten it a little bit. Okay, we're going to do that again. Scoop it, take it off, put it on. Okay, scoop it and put the new one on. Okay, scoop it, put the new one on. Okay, and so we're just going to keep doing that all the way for this row. Make sure you're scooping it from the bottom. Scoop it from the top, you're actually doing a different stitch, and that's not what we're doing today. Okay. Now, the reason that I had you guys to go in a specific direction when you did your cast on was to make it a little easier and faster for you when you're doing your U-knit stitches and your purl stitches, because that allows you to have your hands, each hand doing one thing, and you don't have to keep putting your loom down. So that was the reason for that. This is my last stitch. I'm going to move it up a little bit, go underneath there, pull the new yarn up, take the old one off, and put the new one on. Okay, so we have now done our third row. Okay, so now we're on the fourth row. The fourth row is knit. So we're going to knit every stitch, and again we're going to do a U-wrap knit. Okay, so we're going to go around at the top. Okay, remember it's at the top. The first one looks kind of strange, but just make sure that you gently wrap it around so that you can see which one was the old one and which one is the new one. So this is my old loop. You see that? Okay, so this is my old loop, and I just want to bring my old loop over my new loop. Okay, the rest of them shouldn't be that difficult to do. Uh-oh, see, I took mine off. Okay, put that back on. Okay, so I didn't have it tight enough, so wrap it around halfway. There we go. Okay, that was easy because the loop that I had was the old loop, and so it was easy for me to just put it back on. Okay, so don't panic if you happen to make an error like that. It's not a big deal. Remember, guys, it's just yarn. Okay, so we're gonna go and you want to kind of have even tension if you can throughout your project. You don't want it to be too loose, and you don't want it to be too tight either. Okay, all right, so now we are done with 4. Now it gets a little fun. Okay, so every other row, this is what your piece should look like so far. Okay, every other row we're going to do something different. We're going to do combinations of knits and purls, so you really do have to pay attention to the pattern. I would recommend that you take the pattern that I've sent to you guys that's printed out and use that as your guide. I'll try to help you along the way, but you'll have something to look at as well. Okay, so now we are doing purl 3, knit 8, purl 3. Okay, so purl 3. This is how we do it. We're going to bring this around. We're going to bring it around to the front. We need it to go towards the bottom, right? And we're going to purl 3. Okay, so here we go. This is 1. This is 2. And this is 3. Okay, so now I'm going to try to put it down so that it holds a little bit better, and hopefully you guys will be able to see that. Okay, so now we're going to knit 8. Okay, so again, we're going to do a U-wrap knit. So I got to put it around halfway and the bottom over the top. That's 1. That's 2. Okay, hopefully you guys will be able to see it. Okay, that's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. 7. Make sure you get all of the strands of your yarn, and this is 8. Okay, so now the last 3 are purls. So just going to put them down towards the bottom of my work, and I'm going to purl these stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, and lift this up. Go underneath. This is 3. Uh-oh. There we go. Put it back on. Okay. So that was row 5. Row 6 is knit. So we're just going to U-wrap knit all the way across. Okay. Now I'm going to hold mine this way because it's a little easier for me if I hold it this way. So I hope that helps you guys. So I'm going to go this way and knit, this way and knit, this way, all the way. Okay. All the way. And so every other row we're going to do combinations, and then the opposite of those combination rows we're just going to knit. So that makes it a little easier. You don't have to necessarily pay attention on every single row. You can, you know, kind of relax a little bit and just knit every other row. All right. So now our next row is going to be row 7. Row 7 we're going to repeat a number of times. So you will eventually you'll remember this pattern, okay? But it is 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. And by that I mean purl 3, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 3. Okay? So let's try it. Okay, so first we're going to purl 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so knit 2. So we're going to go around the front at the top, bottom over top. 1, 2. Uh-oh, see, that happened to me again. So now I just put that loop back on, and then I take this and wrap it back around because that was the one that fell off. Bottom over top here. 2, 3. Now I got to purl 2, so I bring this back to the front and towards the bottom so that I can purl. Scoop it up, take the old one off, put the new one on. The second one, scoop it up, take the old one off, put the new one on. Okay, so now I'm back to 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just did purls here, so the next one is knit. So I got a knit 3, and it's a U-wrap knit. 2, uh-oh. 2, 3, and then purl 3. So bring it back to the front, bring it to the bottom, scoop it up, take it off, put the new one on, tighten a little bit. This is 2 and 3. Okay, so now we're on 8, and 8 is 8 is knit. So you're going to knit every stitch going back, including the first stitch. Keep going till you get to the end. Knit every single stitch. Row 8. Now just keep in mind, guys, if you are right-handed, you're going to be going in the opposite direction that I'm going. That's okay. Don't get confused by that, because it all depends on what direction you did your cast on. Okay, but the stitches themselves, you just have to know that you're going to go halfway around the stitch. Okay, so now we're on number 9. Row number 9 is the same as row number 7. So we're going to bring it around because we need to knit, we need to purl 3, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, and purl 3. So our outer 3 are going to be purls on this row. Okay, so we're going to come around at the bottom, ready to purl these first 3 stitches. Okay, so go behind the groove, underneath, scoop up the new yarn, pull it up, take it off, and put it on. I'm going to do that 2 more times because we need to purl 3. Okay, now we need to knit 3, so we're going to bring those down a little bit and go around to do a U, and U. Okay, so we've got a purl 2, so bring it to the front and to the bottom, scoop it up, take it off, put the new one on, and tighten. Okay, this is the second one. This is the third one. Uh-oh, I was only supposed to do 2. So I can undo that because this was my loop right here. So this was the loop that I took off. So I got to put it back on, okay, because I was only supposed to do 2. Uh-oh, hold on. There. Okay, so now this one is supposed to be 3, so it's supposed to be 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. So I made a mistake there, so don't copy that. Okay, this is supposed to be a U wrap, not a purl. U wrap 2 and U wrap, knit 3, and then this one is a purl 3. So bring the yarn to the bottom and purl these 3. Alright guys, okay, so you have just completed row 9. We're now on row 10. Row 10 is a knit. So remember, every even row for this portion, we're going to just knit. So we're just going to go back the other way and knit. U wrap knit every single stitch. You will learn how to get tension on your yarn. You really don't want it to be super tight, nor do you want it to be super loose. So try to do something that's kind of in between. You shouldn't have difficulty getting your stitches off but also you don't want it to be loose, and you want it to be even throughout the whole piece. Okay, so now we're on row 11, and row 11 is repeating row 7. Okay, so that is 3 purls. So we're going to come around to the front here. Come around to the front and purl the first 3. 1, 2, 3, knit 3, so come around and knit 1, 2, having trouble holding my my yarn tension there. 2, there we go, and 3, purl 2, so bring it around to the front and purl, okay, and knit, so knit. You see how I'm going, this was a purl and this is a knit, so it's going up, so knit 2, wait, let's see, purl 3, knit 3, purl 2, this is a knit 3, so this is the second one, and this is my third one. Okay, and then I have 3 left, which will be purls. So I bring it down, scoop it, take the old one off, put the new one on. Okay, go behind, scoop the bottom over the top, take the old one off, put the new one on. Scoop it from underneath, bring it up, take the old one off, put the new one on. Okay, so now we are on row 12, and row 12 is knit. So we're going to knit all the way back, every single stitch. Okay, guys? I know we haven't been doing a whole lot of loom projects lately, so we might be just a little having to catch up and reacquaint ourselves with some of these stitches, but hopefully doing this video will help you guys. Okay, so now we are done with row 12. So now we are on row 13, and row 13 is repeating row 7. So we're going to bring our yarn around. Okay, and bring it around, and we're going to purl 3. So scoop this up. Scoop it up, take the old one off, new one on. This is the third one right here. You wrap knit 3. So go around at the top, bottom over top. 2, 1 more, 3. Bring it to the front, 2 purls, this is 1, and this is 2, Okay, 3 knits. Remember, our knits, your new yarn is on the top. Our purls, your yarn starts on the bottom. This is my 3rd one. And then we got 3 purls. Bring yarn to the front and the bottom. Scoop it up. Pull it off. Take the new loop, put it on, and then tighten it. Okay? Now, sometimes if you hold this, you can pull it up. Okay? If you just apply a little bit of tension on your new yarn, it'll create enough that you can pull that loop off. Okay? So that was repeating row 7, and that was row number 13. So we're now on row 14, and remember, all of our even rows are knit stitches. Okay? So we are on row 14, and we are knitting everything, going back. Okay? So knit going back. Nothing here to really think about. Just go halfway. Hold on, I have to undo. I have a little knot in my yarn here that I need to undo. There we go. Okay. So you're just gonna go all the way to the end, knit. As of the next set, we will be actually halfway done with our project. It's not a really big piece. It does take a little bit of time when we are relearning the stitches and everything, but I didn't choose a long piece for you guys, and hopefully you'll be pleased with the outcome. Okay, so my last knit stitch going back. So now I am on row 15. Row 15 is repeat row 7. Okay, so we're going to purl 3. So bring our yarn to the front and to the bottom. We're going to purl 3. Sometimes your yarn wants to go to the back. That's okay. Just bring it for the next stitch to the front. It's okay if it goes to the back. Just know your orientation for the stitch. That's the key to remembering the stitches and how you're supposed to do them. Okay, so that's purl 3. Now we're going to knit 2. So we're going to go around the top of our stitch and bring the bottom over the top. 2 and 3. Now we have to purl 2, so bring it to the front and the bottom. Scoop it up. Pull it off. Put the new one on. Okay. This is the second one. Okay. So now we gotta knit 3. Bottom over top. One more. And we have to purl 3. Our last 3 stitches on this row are purl. So we bring it to the front and underneath our old stitches, scoop it up. Grab the loop, pull the old one off, put the new one on and tighten. Okay. All right. So That was row 15. We're now on row 16. Row 16, again, after we've done our combination rows, we're just going to knit. So you're just going to go back and you're going to U-knit each and every stitch, okay? This is row 16. U-wrap knit each stitch, okay? Bottom over top. Half wrap it, bottom over top. Okay. My hand gets a little loose on holding the yarn, and so I notice as I'm trying to wrap it, you know, sometimes it comes off. So I have to be mindful of that as I'm holding the yarn. But again, as long as you have the old loop, you're good, because you just put it back on and then rewrap it, okay? So don't panic, you know, if one comes off, as long as you're holding the loop. And if you run into any other challenges, just let me know, and I'll try to do what I can to troubleshoot for you, okay? So now that was row 16. We are now on row 17, and this is the last of our repeat row 7 for this particular project, okay? So for this, we're going to repeat row 7 again. So we're going to come around, excuse me, we're going to come around and we're going to purl the first 3. Then we're going to U-wrap knit the next 3. So I'll push them down a little bit because this one goes on the top. So that's 1, half wrap, 2, half wrap, 3. Bring it around to the front and underneath to purl 2. The new one on. This is the second purl. Okay. Knit 3. 1. 2. 3. Then you're gonna purl 3. Purl the last 3. Okay. Take the old one off, put the new one on. That's 1. 2. And 3. Okay. So now row 18, we're going to knit all the way back, okay? All right, so we are done with that one. So now we are on row 19. Row 19 is a purl 3, knit 1, purl 6, knit 1, purl 3. Okay, so this is not the same as row 7, so we're doing a different, so you got to pay attention on this one, okay? Again, it's a purl 3, knit 1, purl 6, knit 1, purl 3. Okay, so here we go. Purl 3 is our first ones. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3. So those are done. Knit 1. So we're gonna go around the top of it and knit it. Then we gotta purl 6, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, knit 1 and purl 3. That's 1. Just hold on to your loop, your new loop. Get a good hold on it so that you don't lose it. Sometimes it's hard to keep a hold on it, but you can always tighten it once you get it on the peg. Okay, guys? Okay, so that's the last one. So now row 20, we're gonna just knit all the way back. Okay, just knit all the way back. Makes it easy that we only have to truly focus really hard every other row for this project. Okay, I know it's a lot of counting involved, guys, but it's well worth it in the end of this project. You will see. Once we get done with it, you will see. Okay, guys, now we're on row 21. Row 21 is the same as row 19. Okay, so we're going to purl 3, knit 1, purl 6, knit 1, purl 3. So I'm bringing my yarn around to the bottom for the first 3 stitches. Okay, scoop it up, grab the new loop, take the old one off, put it on the peg and tighten. Okay, the second one I just did like that because that was a purl. My third purl. Okay, the next one is a U-wrap knit. My yarn is in the front. I'm just going to wrap it around. That's a 1. Okay, now I have to purl 6. Okay, so purling 6 here and in the front. So I'm bringing it around to the bottom, scoop it up, take the old one off, put the new one on and tighten. Okay, that's 1. This is 2. 3. 4. 5 and 6. Okay, now I have to knit 1, so knit this one here, bring the yarn around the top. It was in the front, but we're doing a U-wrap knit, so I just bring it around. Okay, that's 1. Now I have to purl these last 3 stitches here. Bring the yarn towards the bottom, scoop it up, old one off, new one on, and tighten it. This is the second one. Just remember to take the old one off. You can use your loom tool. I just kind of pull it, but if you need to use your loom tool to do that, that's okay. All right, and this is my last one. All right, very good. So now we are on row 22. Row 22 is just knitting all the way back. All of our even rows are just U-wrap knit. So just U-wrap knit all the way to the end. We're over halfway done, guys, just in case you wanted to know if you haven't looked at the actual written pattern. We're over halfway done now. All right, so our next row is row 23, and row 23 is knit 3, I'm sorry, it's purl 3, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 3. Okay, so it's the same as row 7, but I didn't call it row 7 because I know we did a lot of row 7, but it's very similar to row 7. So we're going to bring our yarn around to the front and towards the bottom because we need to purl 3. So I'm going to push this stitch up a little bit so I can get my new yarn at the bottom. I'm going to purl 3, scoop it up, and tighten after we've gotten a new one on there. 2, 3. Okay, then knit 3, going around. 1, 2, 3, purl 2, scoop it up, pull out that old loop, put the new one on. This is my second one. Put the new one on. Knit 3, going around. Bottom one over the top, the old one over the new one. This is 2. This is 3. And then purl 3. Bring it around towards the bottom. If you can just remember the difference between these stitches, and the more you do them, then the better you get with them. Again, you see how I was holding that loop to make sure I had it. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do, we're at row 24 now. We're just going to knit all the way back, guys. Just knit all the way back. This is our easy row. We don't have to really think about it. Just continue to U-wrap knit all the way back. See, I did that again. So you see how I was holding this, but somehow I just pulled it a little bit and it came off. So now I'm just going to do it again. So wrap around and then bottom over top. So if you happen to miss a stitch like that and you see it happening, then that's what you do. You just go ahead and try to redo it. No worries, okay? All right, guys. Now we're going to do one more set of, we're on row 25. So we're going to do purl 3, knit 3, purl 2, knit 3, purl 3. I'm going to do that one more time. And then we are truly going to be almost done with this project. All right. So we're going to purl 3. Two. Three. Knit 3. Purl 2. Remember, scoop it up from the bottom. Pull the old one off, put the new one on, and then tighten. Once you got it on there, not too tight, but you know, it'll be loose. This is 2. Okay. Then knit 3 more. And purl 3. Okay. All right, so we are now on row 26 and it's a knit. Okay, so we're going to knit all the way across, going back. Just U-wrap knit. Okay, so we're done with that. So now we're on row 27, and this is the last of our combination rows. Okay, so then we're gonna it's a purl 3, knit 8, purl 3, and we're only gonna do that one time. Okay, so purl 3, keep your yarn in the front when you're doing these purls, okay? I loosened that one just a little bit because I had tightened it too tight. Okay, so now we're going to knit 8, okay? So we're going to knit 8, so we're going to go around to the top and knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we're going to purl the last 3. Okay, so bring it around to the front and the bottom to get your purl stitch. Scoop it up, pull off, and put the new one on, and make it less loose, not too tight, but tighten it a little bit. This is 2. This is 3. Okay. So now we are on row 28. Row 28. Okay. So row 28 is going to be, again, all knits, because our even rows were our knit rows. Okay. So we're just going to knit all the way back, including the first stitch. Okay. Knit all the way back. So at this point, we're going to do the same thing we did at the beginning of our piece. We did whole rows of knit and whole rows of purl. So we're just kind of making kind of a border for our piece right now. Okay, so no more combinations here. All right, so now row number 29 is purl. So you're going to purl every stitch. So bring your yarn to the front and purl every single stitch. No combinations anymore. We are truly almost done. Yay. If you've gotten this far, congratulations. You are almost done with this project. It's a little awkward trying to do it to make sure that I'm in the camera. And so you don't have to hold your loom exactly the way I'm doing it. You can do what's comfortable for you. Hold it however it's comfortable. As long as you do the stitch, it doesn't matter how you held it. I usually hold mine in my lap, but I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see it. So hold on, I have to pull some more of my yarn out. Okay, we are still purling. Notice how I really do hold on to my loop because I don't want to lose it since I have to take the old one off. So I really do try to hold on to my loop pretty good so I don't lose it. Push that up because I need this to go to the bottom. Okay, so we are done with row 29. We are on row 30. Row 30 is a knit all the way across. So knit all the way back. And if you remember correctly, our first row was a, this is truly mirroring our first few rows that we did. Okay, so we're going to purl again the whole row, bring our yarn to the front, and purl the whole entire row. Okay, so scoop it up. more you work with these stitches, the more you become familiar with where your yarn is and what stitch the next one is or what have you. For now, hopefully these instructions will kind of help you guys out and doing the entire project so that you can see it. Hopefully this is helping you and not confusing you. But if you have any questions, then just let me know and I will do my best to try to answer them. What I don't want is for you guys to get stressed or frustrated. This is meant to be relaxing and a stress reliever and not a stress producer. So please don't get stressed out over it. It's just yarn, guys. Just yarn, okay? So I got 3 more to go. Okay, yeah, that was our second row of purls. So now we're going to bind off our work. We should be done. We should be done with our work because this would be a knit row. I'm just checking my pattern to make sure that I didn't shortchange us by a row. But I do believe that we have done 2 purl rows. So that being said, we are ready to now bind off our work. Okay. This is what we are going to do. We are now on row 32, and row 32 we are going to bind off. So to bind off, you're going to knit the first 2. Now, in order for me to get my bind off, since we did E-wraps going on, I actually did a U-wrap, even though we did double E-wraps coming on. I find that it makes the stitches less loose for the bind off. So just follow me. We're going to go ahead and knit the first 2 pegs. We're going to wrap this one. You're going to take this, the second one that you just knit, and put it on the first peg, and then you're going to knit that one off. Try not to do this tightly. Now you're going to take the loop that you just did and move it back to your new position. Do the next one, knit it, move the loop to the previous one, you can do it with your hand or with your tool. Knit the bottom one over the top and move it over. This is a cast off, okay? So you're gonna knit your stitch, move it over, bottom over top. Don't do this too tight, okay guys? And move it over. Okay, you're gonna keep doing that all the way. Knit it, move it over, bottom over top, move it back over, go to the next one, and you see we are decreasing the number of stitches we have on our pegs. Okay, so this is a cast off. Okay, move it over, bottom over top, move it back. Keep doing this all the way, guys, okay? Next one. You don't have to knit this first one that you just moved over. You just go to the second stitch, okay? Once you've moved it back over, that one you're done with until you need to move the second stitch over, okay? So you see I just moved this one over. I'm not gonna knit this one again. I'm gonna go here to the next one, okay? Okay, and bottom over top, and then move it back and pull it just a little bit. Not too tight though, okay? You don't want a tight bind off. You want it to be looser than tight. Because you're trying to not have too tight a stitch. Okay. Knit. Move it over. Bottom over top. Move it back. We got 4 more to go, guys. Almost done here. Knit the next stitch. Move it over. If it's loose, just kind of pull it a little bit, not too much though. Bottom over top. Move it back. 3 more to go. So knit the second one. Move it over. Bottom over top. And move it back. One. Last one in the knit. Here. Move it over. Bottom over top. Okay, know where to move it back to. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to wrap this around and we're going to knit this last stitch one last time. Okay, now we can take this off, take this last one off after you've knit it once. Okay, so we're going to put our loom down and we have our piece here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to leave a decent length of yarn. You don't have to do a whole lot, but you want to weave in your edges, okay? And we're going to cut the new yarn here. And we're basically just going to pull this loop all the way through because we knit it. Okay, now guys, the way we have our stitches, the stitches look a little strange and bunched and tight. So what we're going to do is stretch our stitches a little bit. So you're just going to stretch your work out, okay? Just stretch your work out. Okay, I'll move that over. And I hope that you can see this beautiful work that you have done with the alternating purls and knit stitches. And I hope you can see that you have just made a cross design. And this is a little mini prayer cloth. And well wishes and things like that. It's a nice small project. It's not very big at all, but something that you could have for yourself just for comfort, or you could make one and give it to a loved one or something like that. So congratulations, you've completed your loom-a-long, and hopefully you are pleased with the item that you created. I really am so grateful that you decided to come along with me on this journey with this mystery loom-a-long, and hope that you will consider doing another one in the future. If you liked doing this activity, then please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. All right. So I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Don't forget to be mindful, be healthy, and be crafty, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.